are live in effect, you guys, with another amazing locker room show already lined up for you guys. And tonight, you guys, is a family affair. This is a very special show. I've been getting a lot of mess behind the scenes about how this show should have happened earlier, but guess what? It's happening tonight. So I'm excited, elated for tonight's show. We got a lot of good stuff for you guys. We got preseason going on. It is football time, you guys. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, let me introduce my boy that holds me down every single Thursday. He is coming from the hotel lobby, none other than the great Q, the Guru. What's going on, Guru?
Man, what's going on, Coach? Man, I had to shoot on location with y'all this week, man. So we getting settled in, man. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get it going, man. We gonna get it going. We got Unc on, so this should be a good one.
This is going to be a good one, you guys. And like I said, maybe a show that should have took place a lot sooner. But guess what? We got a good one lined up for you tonight. This is literally my family. This is my uncle. We come from a football family. Some of you guys might have been plumbers, electricians. Well, in our family, it's a football family. This is somebody that was a great player in his own right, wide receiver, played in the Arena Football League, then went on, you guys, to become one hell of a coach in the Arena Football League, the Indiana Firebirds, coach for the Cleveland Gladiators. They won some games up there. He is the son, one of two sons of the great Willie Wood, my grandfather. This is somebody, you guys, that was a trendsetter, really well beyond his time in football, a Hall of Famer, Green Bay Packer legend, you guys, and this is his son. So, like I said, a very special show lined up for tonight. What's going on, Uncle Willie?
How you doing, fellas? It's good to be here. Finally. Okay. I've been waiting, but that's okay.
You've been waiting.
I've learned how to be a good bench player. So when you need me to call in, put me in, coach. I'm ready.
He was ready. We needed somebody in the fourth quarter, and he came through for us. And we got a great show, you guys, lined up because there's very few people that I can talk to where I feel like their industry knowledge is the same as mine or surpasses mine. So this is one of those gentlemen, and I'm glad you guys are having a chance to hear from him tonight. I see we already got some people joining with us in the chat. We've got the great Raymond Phil, y'all, somebody that is already
y'all.
This gentleman. Yes, indeed. And
my man.
That's quarterback has come on the show. Got an amazing son, uncle that's playing at Texas State right now. And Ray, what's going on, baby? Thank you for joining us. We've got the De Jesus family as always. What's up, Coach? Q the Guru. This is somebody that's got an All-American college football son that's about to rip it up this year. Jacob De Jesus at UNLV. We've got my mother-in-law, as always, another great Thursday night. Looking forward to a great show. And then, of course, the great Coach Falls coming out of Alabama. So we're rocking and rolling, you guys. We're getting into it. And the first thing I want to bring up is, we're talking to somebody that is in rare air. His father is actually a Pro Football Hall of Famer. I think there's only 400 Hall of Famers in Canton, so this is very rare air. And I wanted to start off
378.
378.
378.
This was a good class. This past class was a good class, though. Like I don't, I think maybe the class before the last two classes has been an issue where people have been where it's been kind of a couple of guys have been questionable, like maybe he could have we could have waited maybe another 5-6 years or whatever the case may be, but this was a good class, man. Devin Hester obviously being the top of the list. You got a 49er up in there with Pat, so it's like, man, this was a good class. Like, it was unarguable from top to bottom, man.
Yeah, Julius Peppers.
Yeah,
Randy Gradishar. I mean, you're right on point. There was some no doubters in this one.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yes, indeed. But let me ask you the question that I wanted to ask you because very few have had a dad that was a Hall of Famer that walked across the stage and has a gold blazer in his closet. I wanted to start off this first topic, which is lessons from a legend. Lessons from a legend. I wanted to start off with a little Q&A. A little Q&A. Let's see, little charades if Uncle can get these questions right real quick. So I'm going to ask you the first black quarterback to play in the Pac-12. Who was the first black quarterback to play in the Pac-12, huh?
That would be Willie Wood Sr. Willie Wood Sr. USC.
Willie Wood Sr. And then we're going to go to the next question. First black head coach to play in American pro football, coached in the World League. Who would that gentleman be?
Let me see. That would be Willie Wood Sr. also with the Philadelphia Bell. Yes, yeah.
Willie Wood Sr. Okay, and then let's end it with the last question. First black head coach to play in the CFL or to coach in the CFL.
Oh wow.
Okay, wait a minute. I know this one. It's gonna be Willie Wood Sr. once again.
Yeah. There you go. So 3 for 3 right there, starting off the show right. But damn. I mean, when you talk about first black quarterback in the Pac-12 with USC, when you talk about first American pro football head black coach, when you talk about the first black coach in the CFL, I mean, he's checking boxes that were never checked before. To grow up in the house of someone that was that dominant as far as their goals and their aspirations and what they accomplished, give me one lesson on the field and give me one lesson off the field that you learned from your father.
Okay, first, let me be honest. As a father, he was going to be eerily similar to your father, who I know well, Terrence. I know him well. Hugh, your dad, everybody's dad who's listening, he was that guy. Take the trash out, do your homework. He was regular folk. At the same time, he's the guy who also had this resume behind him. And the kind of people that he would have come hang out at the house, Night Train Lane and Lenny Moore. And it's like, okay, this ain't regular. So I knew kind of it hit me at about preteen. I was about 12 or 13 when I was like, all right, this dude ain't just regular folk. Something different.
Yeah.
And I would ask my friends, I said, hey, Night Train Lane hang out at your house? They were like, who? I was like, yeah, okay, see, something's different.
Yeah, man.
But one of the things that, you have to remember as a pro, he was a DB. And what every DB is taught is what he would teach me as a player and as a man. And it was that you have to have a short-term memory. As men, bad things happen.
Right.
Things roll up into your household. Things roll up into your life. You kind of think, oh, this is just happening to me. You have to, as a man, pull your big boy pants up and keep fighting because you have a family. You have kids if you have kids.
Right.
You have your own life that you have to take care of. So you cannot get stuck on one or two problems. You got to figure a way through those things. And you can't let these small things hold you back. And you have to have, just like every corner, even safeties, you have to have a short-term memory. You got beat on that corner route. You got to get ready for the next play. We don't have time to worry about what just happened to us. Get up and handle your business.
Wow, amazing right there.
Right.
And, you're getting a master class every day when you wake up in someone's household that has his type of resume.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Q.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was listening to a post on IG the other day. Speaking of lessons from a legend, and it was making comment in regards to how everything is changing, where you're not seeing especially on the D1 Power 5 level, in college and really in the league as well, that classic story of kids just coming from the hood, not having much, and balling out in college, man, getting a shot at the league and doing their thing. And the guy was saying what you're starting to see now is you're starting to see a trend of the kids that we're looking at now, the stars now in the Power Five and in the league. A lot of their dads were dogs, D1 Power Five and in the league. We're not seeing kids we're not hearing that from the hood to riches story like that. Most of these kids all went to private schools and they pops was in the league. Like pops was a killer at D1 Power 5 level. You see what I'm saying? So what we're starting to see is we're starting to see more kids like you, how you were. You know what I'm saying? Like Charles Woodson was over to the house, or Chad was in the living room the other night. That's what we're starting to see now. That's the difference now. And I think that's why, especially at the Power 5 level, man, D1, you're starting to see them up the ante as far as talent, and all these great plays. But definitely the talent level, man, is where it is because of that fact, because that's the trend now. That's the bar, is everybody's pops or they uncle was the dude at that level too. You know what I'm saying? So they're getting taught by pure killers now.
Yeah, absolutely. And these kids are coming in as ready-made products.
Yeah.
When I showed up on campus, coach didn't have to teach me. Well, I moved to the offensive side, but I didn't need to learn stretch and the passing tree and all that stuff. I showed up already understanding football, and that's what these kids of these. Like you said, these killers, they're already showing up. They understand the game already.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. So their IQ
and the game has gotten more simplistic.
Yeah,
with the poor vertical offense and stuff, which is confusing to me, but because I'm old school. But the game has gotten more simplistic. And if I might add this in there, I don't know who's listening, but the coaching has gotten worse. Oops, did I say that?
Oh, no, absolutely. But one more thing I wanted to mention too, in regards to, again, lessons of a legend, man, you all, those of you that are watching too, our fans that are checking in with this, Google the incoming class for Notre Dame. My God, you got three or four or five star killers, man. Like Jerome Bettis' son is at Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? It's like 3 or 4 of them, but Google it. But like I said, it was like this. Plaxico Burris' son, and I forgot who else's son was there. But thank you. So it's like that's the right. Wow. That's the trend. That's the trend.
We do this, huh? Do this.
That's the trend now. Obviously Marvin Harrison's son, look what he did. So I mean, that's the thing now is all these kids, man. A lot of their dads were the dude, man. That's the standard.
Yeah.
No, great point right there. And obviously, I mean, come on, huge lessons. Two that I'll give that I learned is one, he always told me, if the ball touches your hands, you better catch it. So that was one. He didn't care if you were on the offensive side or the defense. If it touched your hands, you better catch it. And then the other one, kind of subliminally, just by watching him, it was relationships. He had golden relationship. Both of us have benefited from his relationships.
Absolutely. So, I still am. I still am.
Yeah, exactly. So rest in peace and love Grandpa to a T. So we're on to our next topic, you guys, and this one is an interesting one, and this one is one that a lot of you athletes better keep in mind, especially as we get closer to the next season, you guys. But we all can agree. I think it's safe to assume that we all agree that Antonio Brown was a magnificent force on the football field, a huge talent, probably still would be one of the top players today if he was playing today and mentally right. But as we know, there was some off the field issues that affected his production. But many people don't know that his father was one hell of a football player. His father, touchdown Eddie Brown. If you're from Indiana, you tuned into Arena Football, many would consider Antonio Brown's father the best wide receiver to ever play Arena Football. A lot of people would consider. But just like his son, some off-the-field antics, some tough times with coaches and teammates. And I wanted to ask you guys, I'm illustrating, you said, Q, the kids follow the fathers.
Right.
So this is a little bit of that. But I wanted to ask you guys, and we'll start off with you, Uncle, because you were in Indiana's organization around the time of Eddie Brown, and obviously phenomenal player. But I wanted to ask you, because you've also been a coach, what's the line as far as talent tolerance? How do you have a golden rule as far as how much rope you'll give a superstar athlete?
Yes, I don't think it's a secret. I think everyone who's been a part of any kind of team sport that they know that the star players get the best treatment. They get treated differently, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's nothing new. It wasn't unique when I played, when I coached, or even today. But where you as a coach, even as a position coach, have to draw the line for your organization is, when does that creep into the DNA of your team? As long as his antics or his posture or his good or bad attitude does not change the direction of the team, because it's all about winning. And we're all there because we need to win. And if it goes against that grain, then you have to make some real hard decisions. Now, I will say that as much as EB had fun playing, and he was loud, and he was, all these things, he was never a problem as a teammate. He was a leader. Just like everybody else, it became harder for him to do as he got older, because the younger guys stopped listening when you're no longer that dude. You know what I'm saying? But it was never because he was ever a bad teammate. He was flashy and he was all that, but he earned it, and he was never ever a detriment to the team's winning. And that's when you have to draw the line, when all of a sudden these antics and the question is about tolerance. You can tolerate it until it starts creeping into your team's DNA.
Right.
Is that a coach decision? Is the coach feeling for that, or is he waiting for maybe a player, one of his players, to say we gotta let this dude go?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, your players will come to you, and they'll tell you, say, Coach, man, we have a problem here, because they this as a player, you see a lot more stuff behind the scenes than we do. When we get you in the office or on the field, we see what's going on, but the players kind of know. And, we had a lot of mature players on our team, and they would let us know, hey, this guy, that guy, this guy is a problem, maybe with his social habits, with whatever. And then, depending on your organization, if it's put together properly, the coaching staff will probably have to go to the ownership and discuss these things, because the ownership likes the stars because the stars generate income. But if you let them know that they may affect the bottom line, then they're listening. But it's an organizational question to have to move on from a player that has been carrying your franchise, not just on the field, but in the stores and in the communities. It's tough. It's tough. I've seen my dad have to cut some real dogs, and he got blasted for it, and nobody understood why he had to do it. And it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Great point right there. Q, talk to me. Let's say you're Steve Sarkisian and you got a 1,500-yard back, but this cat is taking his Hellcat out every Saturday after the game, and police chasing him and everything. What's the guru's rule for talent tolerance?
I mean, man, it's the same thing. That's what we come up with the term, locker room cancer for, because it could hurt exponentially, right? I mean, it's the DNA of the team, as Uncle mentioned. But the other issue is on the collegiate level, if you see a kid repeatedly making mistakes, that are hitting ESPN, and every time we look up, your name is rolling across the screen, the bottom of the screen, well, that's going to hurt future recruiting. If it's on the professional level, it's one of those things where when it comes to free agency time, okay, if I'm a marquee player, am I really gonna want to go to an organization that's affiliated with any of these issues, because that might hurt my brand going to that particular organization. So it's a ripple effect. You see what I'm saying? So that when
if I'm a recruit, should I be clocking this if I'm a recruit?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know what? Absolutely. I'll give you a great example, guys. I'll give you a great example. Probably the best example.
George has been in the news every weekend.
Yeah, but you know what? But you know who's been worse over time, that's affected them over time and probably had the biggest ripple effect, is Florida. Okay. Going all the way back to Tebow and those guys. I read an article yesterday. It said 41 guys off of that 2008, 2009, 41 guys have been arrested at some point in time. That's damn near half the squad, bro.
Yeah.
That's half the squad. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So again, if it's about, especially now with NIL and that's affecting my brand, man, I'm not going there. And like I said, that's something that could hurt a school. Even though that happened to Florida in 2008, 2009, it's still on the lips of the media. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, ESPN, this faculty, these guys are still around. You know, so it's like, even knowing the history of that, you still might not want to be affiliated with that anyway. Look what happened in regards to that situation with Coach Paterno and Penn State. You think that didn't hurt? When things get to the media, man, it's a ripple effect sometimes that can go farther and wider and deeper than you can ever imagine.
Right.
Great point right there, you guys.
And Terry, I mean, just real quick, the last on this subject is, you know, one of the things that Coach Daly used to always say, and he was the Bill Parcells of the Arena League, is, you know, it's all about your character. And, you know, what do you do when nobody else is watching? You know, and if you have these guys who are bringing your organization down, it like Q said, it's a ripple effect. And it's a ripple effect that happens probably after these crew and players have moved on, and the new ones, you know, you have a stigma on you now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of program that Coach Wood runs. Urban Meyer.
Exactly.
This is what Urban Meyer's about. You know, and maybe it's not fair. You know, he was recruiting good players, and they turned out to be bad character guys. You don't know this about them all the time, but it sticks with you no matter what.
Absolutely. You know, and I mean, think about it, guys. We can go on and on. I mean, man, look at that. I think it was a 30 for 30. They did a special a little while ago with those 1980, you know, the 80s Miami teams and how wild they were off the field. And how it was one of those things where, man, like, this is what Coach Jimmy Johnson, you know, like you said, this is what he allows. This is what he's about. I mean, his guys are in nightclubs at 3 o'clock in the morning. And again, they were winning. I get that. But it's like you had a lot of headaches on those squads, too.
Oh yeah,
better win.
And the coach, you're afraid to lay your head down at night because you think the phone's gonna ring.
There you go.
Oh my God.
There you go.
I've been there. I have been there.
Right.
I know you've been there.
Right.
But yeah, and for those that don't know, for one, you guys are learning a lot about the football industry as always in the locker room. But these coaches, these recruiters, these grad assistants, they got to keep their phone on all night, you guys.
Man.
Somebody may be down at the police station or something like that, or drunk at the bar, you guys. So keep this in mind. But just like Uncle said, and just like the Guru said, there's tolerance. We all know there's tolerance for certain people, but you never know when that rope is going to get cut short. We're on to the next topic, you guys, and we're rolling. We got some good stuff planned for you guys tonight. A lot going on. It is football season. This next topic, you guys, is about safeguarding the sport we love. Safeguarding football. Is it possible? Is it something that we should even be trying to do? The NFL every year looks to implement new rules, you guys, centered around keeping guys safer. So this year, we've got the new kickoff rule. The new kickoff rule where guys aren't getting a flying start. They're already down there by the return team, and they're hoping that there's less concussions. There's some people that don't like the new rules, just like Super Bowl champion coach Scott McVay says he doesn't like the new rules. But obviously, we're trying to keep guys healthy. wondering if we would even see superstars like the Hall of Famer Devin Hester if we have rules change too much. So I want to ask you guys, and I'll come to you first, Guru. Football is a lot different than when we played the game, man.
Yeah.
Is it even worth safeguarding the sport? Is the game changing too much, or do you think they need to keep putting in precautions?
I mean, they have a number of precautions already in. I mean, a number of rules have changed, man. But it's like, to me, and I'm sure that not only, a lot of the players, but definitely the fans on a collegiate and NFL level as well, man, it's taken away from the game too much. I've said this before. This is a gladiator sport. This is a man sport, so it's one of those things where each and every one of those guys, man, from the time that they were a little kid at Pop Warner all the way up until the playoffs or Super Bowl opportunities, if you make it there with the league, what this game comes with, man. You already know the possibilities. You know what it's like? It's just like getting enlisted in the Army. You can get enlisted, man, and you can get deployed and come back with one less limb than what you left with. You already understand that. What comes with that. That's possible. So I know that the equipment has evolved immensely, and is more protective, man. But it's a high velocity, full contact sport. And once you have these guys, that are going half speed, trying to figure out, well, do I tackle this guy like this, trying to avoid fines and injury, you're going to see more injuries because, especially on the defensive side of the ball, it's more reactive, on the defensive side of the ball. So now it's like, I got to figure out how to hit this dude without me getting a flag and without getting fined. Now I've hurt myself. You see what I'm saying? Now I have a bodily injury that wouldn't have existed before.
Great point right there. Talk to me a little bit, Uncle Willie. I mean, you used to come across the middle, and it was you better dodge this hit or you out the game. Do you like that old style of football, or are you in line with Guru that you know what you signed up for, or do you think that they need to keep adding precautions? We can't hear you. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
There we go. There we go, huh?
Hello?
There we go.
You.
Okay,
Turn
you got
the
me?
camera back. Turn the camera, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
All my earbuds are dying on me. Okay. Well, the easy answer is no. You cannot make a gladiator sport more safe. Plus, they contradict themselves. I mean, now you got short weeks. Now you're adding games and you haven't expanded the roster. Stop it. I mean, come on. And the preseasons, if you guys watch these NFL TV shows, their training camps are not as grueling as they used to be. So what happens in the first 2-3 weeks of the season, what are you seeing more? Soft tissue injuries. These guys are not ready to whip it on. The only thing that gets you ready for tackling is tackling.
It's tackling.
Right. You go out there and you're two-hand touching with no helmets and stuff like that, and then trying to tell a 260-pound linebacker to, hit in the middle of the frame, and it's ridiculous, And I get what they're trying to do, and I see it, but I mean, this kickoff, new kickoff, and I was special teams coordinator. It's ridiculous. It's bad for the sport. It's going to be bad for guys like me who were return guys. There's some guys that this is how they made the team.
Yeah.
I don't know with these new rules. Does Devin Hester even make a roster? Do they even need him?
Yeah.
Now I know that's a stretch because he was special, but guys like him, I mean, do you need that guy? Because they're talking about now you can put your starters back there because of the way that it's built. So that means that you lose specialists like that, and I don't think it's better, and I don't really think in the long run it's going to be safer.
Yeah, Steve Tasker, a Slater from New England. Do they continue to make plays with this type of setup?
Well, the thing about it, the thing about it is too, T, is when you look at the overall, when you look at the game overall, man, look about how it's evolved, especially offensively, where it's 95% passing. If you think about it, man, if you look at our era that we're from, and I said this maybe a week or two ago, man, everybody had a 12 or 1,500-yard running back. Well, now that the running game is almost non-existent, hell, nobody needs to know how to tackle, because I don't have Jerome Bettis, I don't have them Curtis Martin, those type of backs back there, because they're not running the ball. The game isn't as hardcore. It's not full throttle like that with contact. We don't need a Ray Lewis or a Lawrence Taylor or a Reggie White anymore. You see what I'm saying? So that's the bad. Right. That's what it's taking. It's taking those type of players away from the game.
Wow.
So it's not just Devin Hester. Think about all the great linebackers, all the great running backs that we see in the league that wouldn't be there because of the type of game it is now. It's 7-on-7 with pads.
And it's changed so much that they've even developed a new position name, edge rusher. I mean, the bruising middle linebackers are fading out and moving to edge rusher. I mean, that's a position now.
Yeah.
On draft day, they would say, "Oh, we just drafted an edge rusher." It's like,
yeah. Like, man, man. So I mean, now you can come in and linebacker, really as a 220-pound strong safety, because all you're gonna be doing is checking tight ends all day. That's what I'm saying. You're not. I don't need to have guys like in the middle Reggie like White. That, man. Exactly. We don't need those type of guys, man. In the box, because everybody just needs to just be able to cover. There's no run game.
Right. The great Coach Foss says, put flags on everybody. I know Coach Foss is old school. He's an old school Steeler lover.
Yeah, man.
He's over it
it's slowly moving towards what we see in the Pro Bowl. That's what it's getting to.
Right.
You see it get worse kind of every year. And I don't know that it's better. And when I see guys tackling now, because they're so afraid to go high, they end up going low, maybe too low, and they're blowing people's knees out. I'm like, man, I'd rather you hit me up high and let me protect myself than to come down and take my legs out from underneath me. And then I blow out ACLs and stuff. It's just me personally. And I know I've heard a tight end say that last year. Say, man, stay away from my legs.
My knees.
Yeah. I mean, think about it, guys, real quick. Think about when you look at some of the the top, what we call the top run plays in the last, say, 3 to 5 years. Man, do you think, man, you didn't see dudes hurdling nobody, and you had Ray Lewis, man, and them and Ronnie Lott and them dudes hurdling? Man, your career's done.
Right.
Like, it's over. But now it's so easy, man, because it's like, man, it's so many missed tackles, man, because no one knows how to hit anymore. Nobody can stick. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of times
they don't even waste time working on it.
They don't even waste time working on it.
And the great Jimmy Rucker says, always felt better after the first day of pads. So there you go. So, we are seeing a lot of early season injuries, guys losing their season already from training camp. So it's going to be interesting to see how it continues to go. We are ripping and running, you guys. Thank you for rocking with us. I'm your host, Coach Terrence Wood. To the far right, you got the guru on vacation with the family. And then in the middle, you got the man of the hour. This is actually my uncle. This is somebody that was a phenomenal player himself, went on to coach in the Arena Football League. And you guys, wealth of knowledge, relationships across football, and definitely somebody you guys need to do. This one is pretty interesting because you guys, we're talking about in the last segment changes that are taking place on the field, but there's a lot of changes that are taking place off the field as well. And these college athletes are making real tangible money, but obviously they have to do things for this money, you guys. So I wanted to ask you, name, image, and likeness. We'll start off with you, Coach. Coach Ump. We'll start off with you. If you're coaching at, let's say, Washington right now, and obviously wins are important for your job, are you okay with the kids having NIL activities during the season, or are you banning them until after the season?
Well, I think as a coach, you have to ban all kind of extracurricular stuff. Your commitment to your team, even though now you're probably going to transfer at the end of the season anyway. But at least for the season, you're committed to the team, and you put all your side work to the side. I appreciate NIL and the spirit of it. I'm convinced that it caught all these schools off guard. It definitely caught the NCAA off guard. They didn't do it right. It's being done wrong now. When it first came up, to me, it first popped up with Johnny Manziel. And my stance was, if you can go out there and you can negotiate your own deals, go for it. The problem for me came in is when the schools started getting involved, and now they're using it as a recruiting tool, and now they're getting the deals for the kids, and that's when it gets real. To me, it gets real messy. It was fine when the individual players would go out there and get it, because now we go right back to the same system we had. It's the haves and the have-nots. Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Alabama, they're all going to out-NIL everybody, just like they out-recruited everybody. So it's no different. It just doesn't make a difference. And now, kids can transfer to the highest bidder after one season. And the NCAA wasn't ready for that, and they weren't prepared for it, and that's their fault. I don't think it's as good for the college football game as they think it is. It's obviously very good for the individual player, and I'll never hate on anybody's pockets. Yeah, but it's gonna mess the product up worse than they think it is.
Agreed. I mean, think about it. Look at that situation we were talking about last season, right? And come on, man, like Utah goes and buys 85 F-150s. Come on, man. 85 F-150s. You know what type of investment that is?
You saying San Jose State can't do that?
Man, like no, they can't.
No.
They can't.
No.
They can't.
So talk to me. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, again, it goes back to what I said. If the individual players, because when the ruling came down, it was for their individual rights. I was fine with that. Go out and you find your deal where somebody wants to give you an F-150, hey, I'm all for it.
Right.
The minute the schools got involved, and then it becomes it becomes real stank again. Yeah, it's real stank.
Talk to me, Guru. I mean, you're Kirby Smart. Your quarterback can make 100,000, or your Dion and Travis Hunter can make 100,000 doing a stream during the season for 4 weeks. You cool with it, or you gonna tell them not to take that money?
I mean, man, they're gonna take the money, man. These kids are about the bag, man. I mean, they that's why we've seen, man, that's the first question that they're asking, man, coming out of high school, or even if they're transferring, it's the first thing at the top of the list.
Yeah, but you as the coach, are you saying no during the season, or are you saying, hey, just be smart about it? What are you saying?
I'm gonna say be smart about it. Say be smart about it, man, because at the end of the day, man, as a coach, from the coaching standpoint, man, it comes down to, man, is your team is your product. Is your product producing? If we have W's, it's almost the sky's the limit. What do you say? If you're winning, everybody loves win. If you're winning, especially don't be at a blue blood school and be winning. There's no limit on, you know what I'm saying? I mean, man, I saw a clip.
Is it player by player, or is it a blanket statement at the beginning of training camp?
I mean, you probably are going to make it a blanket statement, man, but you already know, man, your marquee players on your team, man, and kind of how things are going to play out. I mean, we're all being realistic. Coach Prime knows, with Travis, man. I mean, obviously, if you're coaching these guys like Quinn, and they're 4 or 5 star recruits, they're coming in, man, they're all Americans, man, first team, all conference type of guys that, especially, are going to be, projected first day guys. I mean, it's like, man, just be smart, but you know what it is. There's no secret here. I mean, for Christ's sake, man, take a look at it. You're not. Like, take a look at, man. Somebody sent me a clip the other day, man. I should have put it on here, for today's show, of University of Texas's the parking lot outside the locker room, and it just looked like a Lambo dealership. Quinn Ewers got an Aston Martin, couple of Lambos, couple Ferraris, man. It's sickening. It's sickening, man.
Look better than the NFL parking
Man,
lot.
listen, there was not. I put it like this: there was not a car on that lot under $100K. Not one car. You couldn't find one under $100K.
Wow. And once again,
And
that's
it's
the
like that.
uncle's reference about the big boy schools are going to do it
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Great Rick De Jesus right here saying Oregon has unlimited.
Yeah, Phil knows what he's doing. Phil knows exactly what he's doing.
Right.
that's why he threw it out there like that, man. Hey, think about it. If you think about it, even Alabama and those guys, nobody's going to outspend Phil. you know,
Exactly.
he has more money than everybody. So it's like, what are you going to do?
All right, you guys. So, hey, if you guys are out there playing, I know that Rick's son got a little NIL money under his pockets, but be smart. Be smart. Don't let it jeopardize your on-the-field play, as these two gentlemen are saying. We are ripping and running through, and we are on to one of our last topics. We got the great Willie Wood Jr. here for a little bit while longer. If you guys have any questions, the comment section is open. But this one was one that caught my attention, you guys. App State football had a little adversity during training camp recently. I think this took place yesterday, where there was a fight between two players, and one of the players ripped the other player's helmet off and went on to hit him over the head with his own helmet, you guys. So we've been in football long enough, and I'll start with you, Unc. We've been in football long enough where there's rules that are said and there's rules that aren't. If this happens on Coach Willie Wood's watch, what's the next move? Is this an automatic, you're off the team? Do you got to talk to people? How does Coach Willie Wood deal with a player getting hit over the head?
Well, I'm giggling because if Phil y'all is still listening, boom, if you're still listening, he remembers that we actually had this issue. After a game in the hallway of an arena, and the easiest way to put this is I know that it's football and they're giant men and muscular gladiators and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they are at the college level, they are kids. On the pro level, they are your employees. And it is our responsibility to protect those people from harm, be it another employee, be it from the outside, whether we need security. If it's female employees, protect them from any kind of unwarranted advances. We are, just because it's a gladiator, brutal sport, that doesn't make us animals. We need to protect our employees. So if you have a player or players that go at each other like that, again, that goes against the DNA of winning. You're not producing a winning product if you have that kind of atmosphere. And then if you do not step in and do something about it, you're telling both players, the affected and the person who actually committed the action, is that you're willing to tolerate anything in your presence because those guys are good players, or we're just going to brush it under the rug because we're winning. Nah, for me, I need to protect the individual. So if you're a starting lineman and you take your helmet off and you crush down on a third string DB, I got to protect that third string DB because his safety is in my hands. I got to protect. He's an employee, or like I said, at the high school, college level, he's a kid. And there's parents have a level of expectation that I am sending you my child. And I wouldn't want any coach to not pay attention to my safety. And I have a daughter that's a junior and she goes to college, next couple of years. It's incumbent on that coach to make sure that he or she does all she can to make sure my daughter is safe. Even when, until they're 21, they can take care of their own. So I know that's Pollyanna way of looking at things. It's easy to say, but you have to protect your people or else you're not going to win anyway.
So what does the consequence look like from Coach Wood?
I don't want to generalize because it all really depends on the incident, but just based on you taking the helmet off of somebody and beating them over the head with it, at the very least, you're probably done for that season. I would like to get rid of you, period, because you're a detriment to my winning. Because the other players now don't feel safe. Case in point, look what Golden State went through.
Yeah.
I think that their whole season went down the toilet, when that whole incident happened. Because now that other kid doesn't feel safe. He doesn't, he's embarrassed. And the whole dynamic of your team has just changed in an instant.
Wow, that's big right there. Talk to me, Guru. If this is you were in Kansas, if this happened in Kansas, but you were the coach, what's the Guru's consequence for the kid?
I can agree with you be at minimum, suspended for a season. This would be my concern as a coach. Will this escalate off the field?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because one thing you had just mentioned, that sparked in my mind is, okay, this other kid is embarrassed now. This got whacked over the head.
This is viral,
right? This is right.
It's
That's
viral.
What I mean.
Yeah.
So is it one of those things like, okay, cool, you got me with the helmet. I'm gonna go grab this right here and then it's on site now. You know what I'm saying? Take it to that, because you got to remember, you got boys from all over, man. When you in school, you know what it is. You got boys from Dade County, St. Louis, Detroit, Chicago, Compton. So it's like you got kids sometimes that are from environments where it's like, you want to be on that? Oh, okay, cool. That's just my style. I see you when I see you when it's like that. So that would be my top of the list concern. Other than how we're going to handle this kid as far as punishment, the other player is this going to escalate off the field and really get ugly? Now we didn't turn from a assault situation to a possible homicide.
Right. And the three of us know this from all three of our experience.
Oh,
you know how
for
fragile,
sure.
How fragile winning is, right?
Yeah.
You may build this great team, and then one thing happens, and all of a sudden, you're 4-6.
Yeah.
And they're talking about getting you out of there. So the coaching life is too flimsy to have all this outside foolishness going on your team that has nothing to do with winning. And you try to, as a coach or an administrator, eliminate everything that takes away from winning. If it has nothing to do with winning, I don't want it in my program.
Wow, that's big, you guys. And, that's why I wanted to ask you guys this question, because fights happen, but then there's those unsaid rules where somebody goes a little too far, and now it's affecting the culture. Like you said, I actually had this happen in a practice when I was in Colorado too. And in this picture, it looks like, now I could be wrong, but it looks like a black athlete is hitting a Caucasian kid, a white kid, over the head. But at my school, it was reversed. And it almost, like you said, Q, it almost trickled into a little racial thing in the locker room, man. So very, very, very interesting. And we'll see how App State decides to handle it. But you athletes out there, man, hey, don't lose everything getting to not being able to hold your water and your frustrations, okay? Don't lose everything you work for being too frustrated to handle yourself. We are on to our next topic, you guys, and we're towards the end of the show. I see a lot of people coming on in. Yes, Raymond Phil says, yes, I'm still here. We got the great Robin Bobbitt, actually my auntie, saying, hey, nephew, and Willsy, it's Auntie Robin.
Hey,
Brian,
Robin.
What's going on?
Hey.
Good show and much love. So we love y'all. It's a family affair tonight in the locker room, and it's going down, you guys. So we're excited, and we're on to our next topic, which should be pretty interesting because we're on to the lightning round, you guys. The lightning round, where it always goes down, and this is a fan favorite. To it, because obviously I know this gentleman, and I got a good list of questions tonight. So we do with Coach Willie Wood Jr. You got 60 seconds, brother. You got 60 seconds to get through as many of the questions I got on this paper right here. We don't do this for fun. I know you like to eat. So if you can get to 17 or more, you got a dinner on the locker room show, okay?
There we
I'm
go.
either gonna have to send you some money or fly out there and give me some crab or something in DC. So you ready to roll?
I think so.
All right. He said he's ready.
All right.
There's no turning back. Let me get the stopwatch ready and let's get cracking with the lightning round, baby. The lightning round. Got my family in the light. Oh, we haven't even stopped this alarm from stopwatch from last time. All right. Zeros. We at zeros. He's got 60 seconds.
Here we go.
See what he do.
Here we go.
Now, if you're joining us for the first time, we're going to get the first thing that comes to his head unfiltered. All right. Here we go. The lightning round. First thing that comes to your mind. Number one. Armstrong High School. Go.
Baddest quarterback in DC.
Coach Mike Daly.
The Bill Parcells of the Arena League.
Philly cheesesteak or New York sliced pizza?
Philly cheesesteak all day.
Aaron Donald or Warren Sapp?
Aaron Donald.
Best player you ever coached?
Raymond Phil.
Vince Lombardi.
The master, the man, everybody loves him.
Michael Penix or Jaden Daniels? 43 seconds.
Michael Penix.
Skydive or run with the Bulls?
Skydive.
Favorite ice cream? 56 seconds.
Chocolate.
Robert De Niro or Al Pacino? Time.
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. We'll give it to him. All right. Uncle's cooking. Let's see what he got here. So let's, as we always do, we add them up and we recap. We add them up and we recap. Now, keep in mind, if you're rocking with the locker room show, you know he gets one for tech delay. Okay? So 17's our number if he wants the dinner. All right. Number one was Armstrong High School. That was actually the high school of his father, Willie Wood Jr. He says best quarterback to ever come out of Washington, D.C. Grandpa was a quarterback, not a DB in high school. Coach Mike Daly, that is the coach that he coached with back in the Arena Football League, and he says one of the best to do it, the Bill Parcells of Arena Football League. Number three, he's going with the cheesesteak, you guys, over the New York sliced pizza. Number four, he's going with the Aaron Donald over the Warren Sapp. Number five, he's going with Ray Phil, y'all, who's with us in the chat as the best player he's ever coached. Bad boy right there. Vince Lombardi was the coach of his dad. That's number seven. Number eight, he's going with Michael Penix over the Washington. I thought he was going to go with the Commanders since he's in D.C., but he's going with Michael Penix over Jaden Daniels. Unc says he's going skydiving over running from the Bulls. And favorite ice cream is chocolate for 9. And then number 10 is Robert De Niro over Al Pacino. He's going with De Niro over Al Pacino. So that is it. He has 11 for the lightning round, and we appreciate you for having a little fun with us, huh? We appreciate you. So, you guys, we are on to the last section of our show. Once again, the comment section is open. A lot of you people know this gentleman. So if you got something, keep it cool, and you can ask it in the comment section. We see a bunch of comments coming on. My own wife is hating on me a little bit, saying don't take too long with the questions. And then the great Coach Hughes says he gets 5 points for the Robert De Niro. Give him 5 points for the Robert De Niro. All right. So audience question. If you guys have something, put it in now. You guys, we are live. But I know the great guru has a question for him.
Yeah, so my question is this, man. I know you were saying who used to be over to the house. I want to know, is there anything or any one player that you can recall or multiple players that you can recall that your father was saying playing with or against, like, hey, that was a bad mofo. Like, was it Paul Hornung, Jim Brown? Was it Bart Starr? But who is one guy, preferably one guy if you can name that your dad was like, hey, like, we had problems with this dude.
Yeah, he would always rail about how he hated to play against Gale Sayers. He just absolutely hated to play against Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
I think physically everybody knows Jim Brown, Marion Motley would, tear your body to pieces. Right. But he said Gale Sayers was the worst. He said just couldn't touch him.
And it was funny. It was funny my freshman year because a lot of people don't know. Like my freshman year, this is 97. Coach, man, Mr. Sayers was supposed to really end up being our athletic director, and somehow I don't know how he didn't get the job of all people. Like he walk in there and own the place, right? He's one of the guys that put Kansas on the map, for Christ's sake. But when he come in and talk to us, and he always used to be out how much he hated the Packers and just loved giving them the blues. So it's funny you say that because the stories match to the team. But he used to always say
he would just always talk about how in space, he said, man, he would break through the line and he would just say, oh, Jesus. And then he would yell and scream. He would yell and scream at the linebackers about, man, you can't let this guy get to this level.
Right. So he on Ray Nitschke, like, y'all can't even grab him. Y'all can't slow him down.
Right.
Yeah, man, that's what's up.
There's a picture that I just grabbed right there. Two Hall of Famers, two legends right there going after it. And you got it right, Q. He's got to talk to Ray Nitschke, who's no joke talking to.
Yeah, he was a killer too, man. Definitely.
If you got a problem with the linebackers, I'll tell you one. I know that he said Jim Brown, Q, actually cracked his helmet one time.
I believe it.
On Jim Brown, and his knee cracked his helmet. So,
hey man, that was a bad dude, man. Like I know we watched tape, like I said, man, for you, Mr. Wood to be then, strapped it up against him, man. Like, man, you didn't want no parts of Jim Brown, dude. Like that dude was.
One-on-one, you were making a business decision for sure.
Hey, I'm telling
you, the only injury that Dad ever suffered was a shoulder injury for tackling Mike Ditka.
So I forgot about everybody forgets. Because Coach Ditka was a tight end in the league. I forgot about that. Yeah, he was a bad dude too, man. Yeah, I believe
Dad said he was tough as nails. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that was real football back then, man. Like and like I said, we get with the equipment, man, but that's what made these guys legends, fellas. That was real football, man.
Right.
Oh man, It was no joke. You could club guys over the head. That was his patented move. Was clubbing somebody over the head. So nowadays they go, you out. Roger Goodell calling you on speed dial.
Right, if you touch the shoulder pads, right.
Well, that is it. And obviously, you guys can see why we wanted to have my uncle, Willie Wood Jr., on the show in the locker room. Finally, we'll definitely have him back. But a ton of value tonight, you guys. A ton of value. I love you dearly, and good to see you. And thank you for joining us.
This is an outstanding platform. I hope that it gets bigger because I can tell the substance of what you guys is doing. I mean, I do a few of these per year, and this is the best. I mean, you guys really have a ton of knowledge, and the subject matters are really important. And I hope people get on board and understand what's going on here. It's a movement.
Yeah,
with the coach and the guru. The guru.
Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate
yes, indeed.
So hey, there, guys, I appreciate
it. For sure.
Yes, indeed. There you guys have it. That is my uncle. Love him dearly. Came and held us down in the locker room, guru. And it's a family affair, man. This is a family business when you talk about football, man. And good to have him on tonight.
Definitely, man. Like I said, I can't imagine, how many stories, man, your grandfather had, man, just playing. Because, it was just, not just playing, even playing, man, for Coach Lombardi, man, but like all the great players, man, White, Tittle, all these great players, man.
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas, yeah, he played against them all. Play with them or against them. Was in. Even especially with the Packers. That's a prolific organization, man.
Bart Starr,
yeah, prolific organization, man. So that's
the Super Bowl trophies named after your coach.
Yeah. Like that's insane. So yeah, man. Awesome to have Uncle on. We definitely go out to have him back at some point in time for sure.
Yes, indeed. So you guys, I see the great Coach Hughes coming in saying, great show, fellas. Thank you, Coach. And hopefully Elijah as well. I know he's getting ready. And then the great Jimmy Rucker. I know he's got a young one in his home. Great show. Wife downstairs saying, great show. You guys, this is what we do. This is what we do. And just like Unc said, this is going to be a movement. This is organic. We're trying to give you everything you need to know so that you guys can excel if you're players in this industry. You can support if you're a parent or a coach in this industry, you guys. Right. This is what we do every single Thursday. And it's football season, Q, baby. It's here, baby.
Hey, man, it's on now. It's on, like I said, and this is a long season, boy. Especially like on the D1 level, this is a long season. But even all the way down to you high schoolers. Again, I keep saying this, and I continue saying it week to week. You gotta make sure you take care of your bodies, get enough rest, make sure you're not up on your phone at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Make sure you eyes. I had a Jayhawk fan walk. I'm sorry. We up in here. But make sure you icing up. Making sure you get the proper amount of water, the proper amount of nutrition. All that goes into play for you making it through a season unscathed, or what should we say, relatively unscathed. It's still football, but even if there's some bumps and bruises, it'll help with recuperation. You doing those things.
Yeah. Availability is the best ability, baby. And your coaches need you. And if you're number 2, you're number 3, stay ready. Stay ready mentally. Stay ready physically. Because your time is right around the corner, baby. So football season is here. We're going to be here. You guys make sure you come back every Thursday. One thing that's good for you, if you already haven't, is make sure you subscribe to this channel. Help us build this baby organically. Help us get this in front of as many players, coaches, and parents as we possibly can. Your way to help us and kind of pat us on our back is to make sure that you like, subscribe, share with your friends, your teammates, your dog. Make sure you tap into the show. All right. We'll be back. That's Q the Guru, and I am Coach Wood. We'll see you at the top. Have a good one.